Hello and welcome to the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast. It is October 11th, 2024. This is episode 289. Stand-up comedian, actor, improviser, and dreamer, Paul Green, sharing my journey with all of you as I pursue my dreams as a performer in hopes that perhaps it might give you a little inspiration to pursue dreams of your own. So I think I am 4 days in a row on my recommitment to doing this podcast daily. And my goal again is to get 78 days in a row to close out the year, because I was doing so well for so long as I started this goal about a year ago. Then it got off track, and you want to know what? It's okay to get off track, everybody. We all get off track sometimes. The important thing is to regroup, give yourself a break, and then recommit and get back on it. Get back on it. Get back on it. So, man, today has just been a full day, nonstop. I have just pretty much been working since I woke up this morning. I had a bunch of day job stuff to get done, and then I turned my focus to just more administrative stuff for my two-person comedy show, The Midlife Crisis Comedy Show, and been diving into a lot of data and statistics. We are advertising pretty heavily 2 shows that are coming up here in a couple of weeks. And one thing that I did today, because I was just sort of curious, I was thinking to myself, but nothing was happening. I was thinking if there's like a day of the week that people are more inclined to buy tickets, right? I'm just thinking, okay, if a show is on Thursday, do we need to be advertising all days of the week? Or is there a day of the week that is more likely for people to purchase? And if there is, then should we not skew our advertising budget to favor those days? And so I went back and I pulled a list of everybody who has bought tickets to our shows and figured out what day they purchased. And then I added up how many tickets had been purchased on which day. And you want to know what I found out? When we have a show on a Thursday, which is very common for the Midlife Crisis Comedy Show because we usually have a Thursday show once a month at JP's Comedy Club in Gilbert. And what the data indicated is that almost double the amount of tickets are purchased on a Wednesday than the next 2 highest purchasing days, which happened to be Tuesday and Thursday. So I don't remember what the total was. Matter of fact, I have it right here on my computer. I can give you exactly what the totals were. How about that, everybody? So let's see. So of all of the shows that we've done and that we have data for, we have that are on a Thursday. We have sold a total of 20 plus 10 is 30, 31, 36, 40, 44, 49. So 49 tickets we've sold for our Thursday shows, at least that we have data for. And of those 49, 20 of them were purchased on Wednesday. And then 11 were purchased on Thursday, and 10 were purchased on Tuesday. And then Monday had 5, Friday had 5, Saturday had 4, and Sunday had 4. And what that tells me is on Saturday and Sunday, people aren't on Facebook as much trying to figure out what they want to do next Thursday, which makes a lot of sense. Like right now it's Friday and I'm not thinking, oh, I need to go buy some tickets for something that's happening next Thursday. So anyway, that was just kind of interesting, and don't know if that's going to mean anything, but this is the type of stuff that I am doing with my time to try and just figure out how in the heck do we sell out venues? What advertising is necessary? Where do we put our advertising dollars? What times of day? What sort of demographics? What type of people? How much money do we need to be putting into advertising at certain times versus other times? What are the geo-tracking? And, I'm just trying to figure all that out. And I don't know. I don't know what else to do other than just trying to think of every possible way to increase ticket sales and make our advertising more effective so that we can sell more tickets and spend less money to do it. So, spend a bunch of time doing that. Spend a bunch of time updating ads, just all kinds of stuff. So, that was fun. And then on top of that, I went and got my workout on, little cardio workout, and went to go grab some dinner. I did the dumbest thing at dinner tonight. So this might be an ADD thing. Anybody who has like actual diagnosed ADD, I think I was diagnosed with ADD when I was like a child, but aside from me just sort of saying, oh, I have ADD as an excuse to, justify me making bonehead mistakes, I don't know how much I actually have ADD or how much of it is just, again, an excuse for my, dropping the ball or forgetting stuff. But if I did have ADD, I had such an ADD moment tonight. So I'm at the restaurant. I'm chowing down. And I'm looking at my phone. I was probably actually working on... So I was trying to figure out on my cell phone in my Google Sheets how I could create a column and have the column reference a date and then convert that date into the day of the week that date occurred, right? Because I was trying to get the data on what days of the week people purchase tickets, right? So I had the date and the time that the person bought the ticket, but it would just say like, July 12th, 2024. It's like, well, I don't want to go into my calendar and look up every single day and then like manually type in what day of the week that date was, right? So I was like, there's got to be a way to do that in Excel spreadsheets, right? Turns out there is, right? So I'm on my cell phone. I find the little formula. The formula is like this cell equals text, parentheses, select the cell, comma, quotes, DDDD, quotes, close parentheses. Click enter, and then boom, Excel would just look at that date and say, oh, that date was a Thursday. Boom. Oh, that date was a Tuesday. Boom, right? And then all I had to do was just, autofill that formula. So anyway, I'm feeling really good about myself. I'm getting data. I'm getting statistical. I'm trying to, do whatever I can to help, this new company of mine be successful. Me and my buddy Josh and our manager Lily. And so I was just way in this, like, just so not focused on anything else trying to figure this out. So what happens is the server brings me the check, and turns out I forgot my wallet in the car. So I walk up to the bar and I said, yo, left my wallet in the car. Can I just do like Google Pay or Apple Pay or Samsung Pay or any electronic payment? She's like, no, sorry, we're old school. You got to go to your car. So I'm like, right. So I walk out of my car. I grab my wallet. I come back in, go up to the bartender again, hand her my card. She hands me back the little checkbook thing, the little black, the thing that servers put your check in. I don't even know what they call that. I call it a checkbook, but checkbook is another thing. So now I'm like, is that what they actually call it? I don't know. I've never been a server before. I did deliver pizzas. I think we had one of those things when we delivered pizzas. But anyway, So, speaking of ADD, so she puts, my debit card back in the little black checkbook thing with the check that I need to write in the tip and sign. So she hands me that, but I still got like my notebook, because I always carry my notebook with me at a restaurant in case I want to like write some comedy or whatever. And, my key, like whatever. There's my headset's over there. So I go back to my table. I grab my checkbook. I grab my keys. I grab my headphones. And then I walk out the door. I drive home. And while I'm driving home, my mind is just thinking about all kinds of stuff. And just thinking about gigs and thinking about comedy and thinking about the set I did last night. At JP's Comedy Club. I did an open mic there. So my mind's all over the place. I'm not focused on anything. I get home. I go to my seat to grab my notebook, because I had just thrown my notebook there. And guess what I see sitting in my seat, mocking my mental facilities? It was the black check book from Outback Steakhouse, and I open it up, and inside is my debit card and the receipt that I was supposed to write in a tip and sign and give back to them. And somehow I was so out of it, just so not focused on where I was or what I was doing, that I just got that checkbook back from the bartender, went to my table, grabbed my stuff, and just left and just threw it on the seat, not even thinking about what was in my hand or paying attention to what was in my hand. And I drive all the way home, and then I go, are you freaking kidding me? Now, there's a server out Outback that doesn't get tipped and who just got her little checkbook thing stolen, which, that's probably not a big deal because I assume they have dozens of them over there. But I also know that they need those signed checks to like close out their till and all this stuff. And I was going, oh my gosh, what have I done? So I call Outback right away and I'm like, hey, listen, this is the situation. I get to a manager and he's like, oh man, thanks for calling. Unfortunately, really the only way for us to do this is if you come back down, write in the tip, sign the check, which I kind of knew was the case. I was just like, I've got too much stuff in my head right now. I'm like, I just didn't want to do it right then. I was like, is there any chance I could come back tomorrow and do this? And he says, yes, you can. I have since decided that I am going to go back there tonight and get it all squared away. But I was just so frustrated. Not super frustrated. I'm just kind of like, ugh. Because I do stuff like that all the time. My brain, sometimes when I just get focused on something, I will just make the dumbest, most, what the heck was I thinking, lapses of just like simple routine events. I remember this one time, this is what I was living out in Chandler, Gilbert. I had just moved in with my buddy Chris Clifford, who's one of the coolest dudes on the planet. Love that guy. And he was like my first roommate. So his parents buy this little 2-bedroom house out in Gilbert, and he and I move into it. And a couple months into living with him, one morning, I left for school or whatever it was that I was doing. And I can't remember everything that was going on. This was like 15 years ago. But, I'm hustling, bustling, and I just remember like I had just kind of like a bunch of little errand type things just to get done that morning. So I do them all. I get in my car and I drive to wherever I was driving. It was probably ASU at that time. And I don't come back for hours and hours and hours and hours like that afternoon. I come back that afternoon, and while I'm pulling back to my house, our front door is wide open. And if I remember right, I don't think Chris was in town. Whatever whatever the situation was, there was no way that it was Chris. It was obviously me. And then I kind of remembered, my morning, and I was like, oh my gosh. It was maybe the type of thing where I had to like I opened the garage, but then I also had the front door open, and, maybe I had to like go to the mailbox or just kind of do something to where I was leaving the front door, but maybe came back in through the garage or whatever, and was just thinking, oh, I'll get that door closed later, and then got distracted, and then, I had to grab my backpack or whatever, and then I went back in the garage, got in my car, backed out, and left without seeing that I had failed to just close the front door. It's just forehead slapping. What the heck? How could my mind be so disconnected? I remember once I was traveling. This was when I lived in LA, and I was traveling to Phoenix, and I was staying at my brother's house, and I left his garage open when I was like heading back to LA. I left his garage. My car wasn't even in the garage. My car was outside, but I would leave through the garage so that I could keep their front door all deadbolted and locked. And I leave his garage. I get in my car. There's just, and I knew the code, right? So all I had to do was just type the code into the little garage thing and hit enter, and the garage would close. But again, I got so distracted. I was getting my luggage or whatever, and then I get in the car, and I just drive back to LA. My brother calls me, and he's like, dude, you left my garage open with tens of thousands of dollars of tools. Anyway, what does this have to do with anything? Absolutely nothing. I just think it's important that, I used to be so hard on myself. I used to come down on myself. And now I'm just going, you want to know what? I did a dumb little thing. It's okay to do dumb little things. We're all human beings. We all have dumb little picadillos, and we do dumb little mistakes and have little brain farts. And to me, it's all part of this journey of going for what it is in your life. You're going to get distracted. You're going to have little foibles. You're going to have little mishaps. You're going to stub your toe. You're going to trip. You're going to, walk out of the restaurant with with the receipt and the thing, and get home and realize, oh my gosh, I still have this. So the flip side of that is I am also so focused on doing whatever it is I can, or whatever I can to help this show be successful. And sometimes that may mean getting so focused and getting excited about some statistics or a potential opportunity to make our advertising more effective that maybe my mind isn't necessarily focused on, like a menial task, like, oh, sign the receipt and give it back to the server. So anyway, that was a fun little frustrating thing that happened tonight that I'm just dealing with. Other than that, my friends, things are going so well. Last night, I was at JP's Comedy Club. Jim, the owner there, let me go up and ended up giving me a lot of time. He initially told me 10 minutes and then just said, but, if we need you to go a little bit longer, is that cool? And I was like, yeah, just light me when you want to get off. And I just kept going and going and going, and I kept looking over at the light, and he never lit me. And what I did last night is I had about 7 or 8 new joke ideas that I've been wanting to really try out in front of an audience, and just to see if any of them have legs. And I didn't really have any of them super worked out, but I just wanted to get a feel if any of the premises or any of these concepts, again, had any traction to them. And the audience was so great. And I was just upfront with them. I just said, hey, everybody, this is an open mic. I got a bunch of new ideas here. You guys cool if I just try all this stuff out and see if anything has legs? And they were really cool and supportive. And I was riffing a ton. I was making fun of myself a lot and being interactive with the audience to keep it entertaining, because obviously anytime you try new material, the chances that all of it is going to be good is almost zero. So I knew that not everything was going to work, but I just wanted to try everything and see how that went. So I recorded that set, and I will be going through that to start working on. I want to try to get like what my next 10 to 15, 20 minutes of my stand-up routine is going to be. I've got a pretty solid new about 20 minutes. 10 minutes of that is what I did at the World Series of Comedy and did very well. Unfortunately, I didn't get far enough to do the second 10 minutes of that, but it's all good. So overall, everything is going very well. Exciting things coming up. I got a new audition from my commercial agent in Los Angeles, which doesn't happen very often. So super excited that he's still thinking of me and still sending stuff my way when he can. I'm going to be flying to Iowa on Monday to do some filming with my buddy Josh Novi. And he got me hooked up to be in his movie to do a little small role. So I will be doing that. Very exciting. And then my next round of shows are starting to come up. So I'm going to be doing an improv comedy show at JP's next Thursday, October 17th. And then we will be back at JP's the following week for the Midlife Crisis Comedy Show. So all kinds of fun, exciting stuff coming up, everybody. Now, I have been commentating a lot on a book called The Magic Mindset. I'm not going to do that tonight because I'm running a little low on time. I want to keep this one short. But I will just say that I have been so much more cognizant of my mindset lately and have been really working on making adjustments. And it does make a difference. I know sometimes the whole self-help, the secret, your ideas become thing and manifestation and just meditate and you'll be a millionaire. Like, I get that there is a lot of fraud in so much of that, philosophy. There's so much, people taking advantage of other people and, just making big promises and just saying, oh, well, just think about success and then success will just happen magically. And by the way, give me tens of thousands of dollars to tell you that. So I am fully aware that there is some caveat, and it's a little bit, there's a little bit more to success than just thinking about it. But I am fully convinced that having a very focused mindset, an energetic mindset, a positive, expansive mindset, a mindset that believes in big things and believes in big things to the point to where it influences action, which to me is really the key. Inspired, belief-fueled, positive, ambitious action fueled by a deep want and an emotional belief in yourself is a crucial component to really finding success in whatever dream it is you're pursuing. And you get all of that in alignment, get the mindset, get the behavior, get the habits, get the belief, get the emotional excitement, all of that, and then see what sort of magic, synchronistic, out of the blue, seemingly magical things happen. And that is the energy that I'm stepping into of, man, I have held myself back so much in my life. I have allowed myself to be so discouraged, to be so small-minded, to be victim-y, entitled, woe is me. And I am now really focusing hard on adjusting and recalibrating all of the elements of my mindset to be a mindset of ambition, a mindset of belief, a mindset of positivity, a mindset of courage, a mindset of stepping into growth, into challenge, into opportunity, and to do so with a belief of great things happening. And I got to tell you, it's really exciting. It's a lot more fun. So that is it for tonight, everybody. Keep pursuing those dreams. Be sure to tip your waitress. Don't walk out of the restaurant with her check. And I love you all so much. I hope you're doing well. This is the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast, episode 289, October 11th, 2024. I will talk to you all tomorrow.